The most important story of the year is currently unfolding in China. It has been virtually ignored by all Western media. It's not only the story of the year, but probably the story of the decade. When Xi Jinping met with Donald Trump in Asia and agreed to a set of trade deals that were highly favorable to the United States, I was struck with how uncomfortable he looked. The basic deal with the United States called for China to start purchasing American soybean airplanes, for America to route the sale of chips to China, for the sale of rare earths to America and other countries by China to be approved, reductions on Chinese goods sold to America, and several other measures that were favorable to the United States. It wasn't until I was in the Philippines and I was getting access to Asian media that I realized why he looked so uncomfortable. Xi Jinping had a stroke in July of 2025. In August of 2025, Xi Jinping lost control of the Chinese military. Xi had spent the last 7 years stacking the military with generals loyal to him. In a sweeping change, 9 top generals were removed and 80 were retired. Virtually every general appointed by Xi or loyal to Xi was removed from power. This was a coup led by Li Qiang, the president of the People's Republic of China. Xi Jinping went overnight from controlling the Chinese military to having hostile generals in all positions of power. In China, as Mao famously said, all power flows from the barrel of a gun, and the party must control the gun. With no real elections in China and rigorous control of everything by the party, the barrel of the gun is the real power. Li Qiang and a group of senior party leaders decided that the leadership by a single strong man had served China badly, and a more collegial leadership structure would be more in line with the historical structure of the party. The last time a single strong man led China was Mao, and that caused the deaths of 45 million people. In August of this year, Xi Jinping lost control of the Chinese military, and the Chinese military was no longer available to back up his faction in the Politburo, the CCP. 4 longtime veterans of CCP politics with strong connections to the military opted this time to end single-party dictatorship over the CCP. In the October 25th meeting of the Communist Party, Xi Jinping was essentially removed from power, and China restored to its more traditional cooperative leadership. The period of single-party rule for the CCP was ended, and Xi had to agree to retire in 27 and to stay on merely as titular president until 2027. For dedicated China people, the people at various ceremonies changed after October 25, and for readers of tea leaves, these changes are very important. But the key factor was the change in the military. Xi Jinping agreed to retire in 2027 to write a letter of apology, which he agreed to do so on October 25th, 2025. At the same time, Xi's family was put under investigation. Both his brother and daughter were implicated in corruption investigations. This was a tactic to keep Xi under pressure. In addition, a substantial number of his supporters in the party either disappeared or went under investigation. This was also key to the transition. Since the October diminution of Xi, his absences from the stage are apparent to China watchers. His only major address since that date has been the annual economic message at the New Year. The new leadership of China not only took over control from Xi Jinping as a single source of power in China, but also fundamentally changed the position of China in reference to the United States and the world. Li Qiang, who had survived the Xi Jinping years, stated that China and America must be more like married partners rather than neighbors angry at each other. This envisions the cooperative control of the world, where the two parties work together for the next 20 to 30 years to have a single military system for the world, which is cooperative between the United States and China. It also includes an agreement by China to approach the issue of Taiwan more peacefully and without military compulsion. It also includes a more cooperative process in the South China Sea with better relations with Vietnam, the Philippines, and Indonesia. These fundamental changes in Chinese foreign policy and domestic policy does not mean that China is going to become more democratic. The cooperative leadership of the CCP is completely committed to a dictatorship of the CCP, and the United States will have to accept that dictatorship in China in order to move forward. This change in policy is good for the United States because it means the United States will remain a party to control the world with China and will reduce the likelihood of open conflict between China and the United States. This is clearly the most important story happening in the world today with reference to China and the United States, and has not yet been covered by the American press.